From Studio 1A in Tampa, Florida, comes a talk show that really feels your pain and tells you like it is. We love America and all that freedom-loving Americans want to protect. Live from coast to coast and on your radio, it's For the People with Keith Allen.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people. Whatever your source of stress or strife, for the people is there.
Good afternoon, America. Hello, I'm Keith Allen, and proudly welcoming you to this July the 20th, 2017's edition of For the People. We got a good show lined up for you. And Jeffrey Sessions, he's trying to save face a little bit. Our president of the New York Times pretty much blasted Sessions as to, what Sessions did. A lot of people just were real curious why he accused himself. It really looked like, he had something to hide, quite possibly. And here's Donald Trump here.
Jeff Sessions takes the job, gets into the job, recuses himself, which frankly, I think is very unfair to the president. If he would have recused himself before the job, I would have said, thanks, Jeff, but I can't, I'm not going to take you.
All right, so Jeffrey Sessions pretty much trying to shake off everything there at the Department of Justice on the heels of President Trump sharply criticizing him for recusing himself for the Russia probe in a press conference scheduled to discuss the cybercrime. Sessions' appearance took a quick turn to the issue of whether the top law enforcement office official plans to offer his resignation to Trump. And, we've been talking about it. And so has a lot of other people. So he says, this is his words, we in the Department of Justice, we will continue every single day to work hard to serve the national interest and wholeheartedly join in priorities of President Trump. Sessions responded, I have the honor of serving as Attorney General. It's something that goes beyond any thought that I've ever had for myself. Well, people are just kind of wondering, really? Sessions added, we love this job. We love this department. I plan to continue to do so as long as it is appropriate. Now, of course, Jeffrey was pressed at how he could run the DOJ without the confidence of the president. So, and this is immediately after the scathing New York Times interview that he would never have appointed him as Attorney General if he had known Jeffrey Sessions would recuse himself from the Russia investigation. He says, we're serving right now, and the work that we're doing is the kind of work we intend to continue. So this is Jeffrey Sessions, our Attorney General. And Trump slammed, as you know, Sessions told the New York Times his recusal was very unfair to the president and said would never have appointed him as Attorney General. So he was very emphatic about it. And his comments are coming today following reports overnight that he could consider offering his resignation in the wake of those comments. The New York Times reported that Sessions offered to step down from his post as Attorney General, but the president declined. But now, after the New York Times, a lot of people are really asking a lot of questions. And Judge Napolitano, very smart guy in New York City, you've probably seen him on Fox News Channel, et cetera, and asked him a few questions. They're on Fox and Friends, and so I'm re-asking the question, Judge Napolitano, should Jeffrey Sessions, should he have recused himself to begin with?
Honestly, I don't think that Jeff Sessions should have recused himself, and I said it at the time, and I'll say now that he probably should not have accepted the nomination to be Attorney General. He probably should have said, Mr. President, you know these characters. They're going to investigate the campaign. They've already been making noises about it. They embarrassed Mike Flynn by selectively leaking portions of conversations he had with one of the Russians. That's going to make me, Jeff Sessions, a witness. At worst, at best, I'm going to have to step aside. You really want an Attorney General that can't control one of the biggest investigations the Justice Department has conducted since Watergate. Well, that's what we have now. We have one of the biggest investigations that the Justice Department has conducted since Watergate being run by somebody who was not appointed by the President of the United States. So that's President Trump's frustration, and I understand that.
All right, that's kind of an eye-opener for me, and with the New York Times and all that, he talked a little about that story. And
the statement he made to the New York Times has got to be just demoralizing to the Attorney General and to many, many good people in the Justice Department who work there.
All right, so the final question, we move on here from this story, but it's a bombshell, and I've just made the prediction today that Sessions is going to have to step down. This is just it's embarrassing. This is the pressure. This is the positioning of the president. To me, you don't just presidents just don't say these things. And to the New York Times, he's not going to say these things unless he's looking for Sessions to be able to resign. And I think it would be the best thing for our country for him to do it. Be shocked if he doesn't. I just don't see any other way moving forward for anybody concerned here.
I think that the failure to mention having shaken hands with the Russian ambassador on two receiving lines is an insufficient basis for the Attorney General to say, I'm out of this huge investigation.
If he does,
and a lot of people to the left, they've used this to their advantage, basically saying, see, this is something that even Sessions, and they had questions about Sessions, about so many different issues of his record, of how he was going to stand in so many different particular things here, and say, this was a big I got you moment. And especially for people to the left, I just do not see this being any, to hold on to him right now, greater liability, big liability if he continues doing it. For everybody concerned right now, nobody really has trust. And if anything that we need badly, is we need to have people in positions that we can totally trust and are not sketchy people. We can't have, as the English say, we can't have any dodgy people. Speaking of dodgy, speaking of an awful story here, there's a mystery going on in Tennessee at the mayor's home. Yeah, at the mayor's house. A Tennessee toddler last week, and I don't know why they break these stories later on, but we're only just learning about it today. But there was a story that deepened on Tuesday. I guess if you lived in Tennessee and got the Tennessean paper, you'd know about it if you comb the wires really carefully, but it didn't make much headlines. But Tuesday, when a local paper reported that a 2-year-old child was discovered in a car parked in front of the mayor's home, officers received apparently a 911 call from a woman about 2 p.m. on Friday saying that her child was left in a vehicle parked outside a Gatlinburg home. So the Knoxville News Sentinel reported Tuesday that the Sevier County Property Assessor's office revealed the home was owned by Jerry Kirkman, the mayor of Westmoreland. So we believe that the person who called the police made the call when they got up. The work schedule, they work late at night for the previous night, and what we understand, the child was left in the car from the night before. Gatlin Police Chief Randall Brackens told Wait. So the child's mother and paramedics administered CPR, but they were unable to revive the child. So Kirkland did not respond to the News Sentinel's request for a comment, and authorities have not released the identities of those involved in the incident, but the gender of the toddler was not immediately known either. So it's unclear what caused the child's death. But Randall said it appeared to be accidental. Parents were very upset, very anxious, Randall said. Kirkland oversees a town in Sumner County with a population of about 2,200 people. And folks, the temperatures, you leave a kid in a vehicle, temperatures in the 90s, okay, outside on Thursday and Friday in Gatlinburg. And the authorities are waiting for an autopsy result to just determine if in fact, heat caused the toddler's death. We already know the answer to that. More and more of these happening across the country, folks. I mean, it's like almost every single week. Just about every other week or two. It's just twice a month, 3 times a month. from all over the country. You don't leave a pet. You don't leave a baby. I mean, what the heck? Oh, my gosh. People got to be smoking the crack base. I'm serious. You got to be on crack cocaine. If it's inconvenient, bring your kid in with you. Who cares? And if it's inconvenient for you to bring the kid in, you can't bring the kid in, then you don't need to have that kid in the car. Drop it off at a daycare center or someplace else. You need to be locked up. And there's got to be some serious negligence going on there. Poor child dead. What a way to go. It's just awful. I don't know what the heck is going on. It's just, you can't say retard anymore. Challenged. And no disrespect for people that are mentally challenged. I had a challenged uncle growing up. Yeah, my Uncle Rich. He was adopted, and we loved him to death. He had a heart of gold, wouldn't hurt you. We missed him greatly when he passed away about 5 years ago. But I don't know what it is, man. People's brain cells just, they shouldn't have ever been parents. If you don't know any better, listen, that kid wasn't in the car for 10 minutes. He's left overnight in the vehicle. Oh, we forgot our child was in the car. Oops. What? You totally forgot? They're saying that they believe that there wasn't anything that the parents, they didn't mean to do it. So both the parents, none of them realized that their child for the whole night was left in a hot car outside the Tennessee mayor's home. Nobody knew. And then also the paper says that the parents were very upset and very anxious. Really? Do you think the child was a little anxious in the vehicle? A little upset? Wow. And I guess sometime or another, the woman, apparently at 2 p.m. on Friday, said that her child was left in a vehicle parked outside the home. I guess realized it and then called 911. And I guess the mother and EMS tried to revive the child, but it didn't happen. Again, once again, reiterating what the paper said, that they believe the person who called the police made the call when they got up. That their work schedule, they work late at night from the previous night, and what we understand, the child was left in the car from the night before. So they were so tired. It's just as a parent, I've been real tired and real exhausted, but you put your kid before you. May not be. I've never been so tired that my infant baby would be left in a vehicle, and I've been tired. Children will tire you out. Work tires you out. Somebody drinking or somebody doing something, I don't know what it is. Nobody I know, and I've known a lot of people with a lot of babies through the years, and not one of that happens, and so do you. That's just an awful, and I'm sorry, but it just seems unexcusable. I mean, how else do you explain that? A homeless man, 84 years old. He apparently is a old war veteran. And he's going through a very difficult time here. Clifford and Gary Kewiak, 84-year-old twins who survived living under Nazi occupation and fighting in the jungles of Vietnam, are now in hell, they say, and sleeping in their car after a bank foreclosed on their California home in October. Yeah, you heard right. 84 years old. They're twins. They protected our country. They survived during Nazi occupation, fighting in the jungles of Vietnam, are under a bridge. How can this be, folks? Clifford and Gary grew up under Nazi rule before coming to the U.S., where the brothers worked in Hollywood and then served their new country at war. But the brothers were talking to a local affiliate out there in Sacramento, Fox 40, and they say nothing that they lived through compared to their current predicament. They say it's a lot of stress, Clifford said, holding back tears. I'd rather go back to the war and get shot at than this crap.